Steve, Talking with a Dad, episode 6. How are you this evening?
Good. Zach, sponsors?
Sponsors this week. We're sponsored by Snapple Tea. Thank you, Snapple,
We're
for
gonna
sending
get
me
sued!
this. Thank you, Snapple Tea, for sending me this nice jug of iced tea. I love Snapple Tea. I don't know if you guys like it or not. Diet Peach is my favorite because I have an affinity of sugar.
I also want to thank this Swedish company that sent over this hoodie, Sidabis.
This is my favorite bit. The stupid the sponsors bit that they're just not there. That's fun.
We're never gonna get them.
Nah, you know what? That's just ridiculous talk. We can, and we will, but not yet.
It seems like everyone starts off with the same sponsors. They start off with BearShare,
Audible,
yeah,
NordVPN,
which got hacked, by the way.
MeUndies,
yes.
Hims,
Blue Apron.
I fuck with Blue Apron, super heavy. Blue Chew.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
What are the other Rogan sponsors? I'm trying to think. If you're in some sort of athletic, it's going to be On It. And some sort of CBD oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, CBD is big. CBD is big.
Yeah,
you
it
use
is.
CBD for everything apparently. And it's not working for anything.
Nothing. It helps,
But
but not that much.
it didn't cure anything, but it didn't make anything worse, which is how I like to be as a house guest. I didn't fix anything, but I didn't break anything.
That's a good way to live life. If you keep everything the same way that it was as a house guest, I believe you're a successful house guest.
If people can't tell you stayed at their house, then you've done a good job.
That's how I am as a house guest. You can never tell that I was. Probably because I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think he fed the dog. What makes you think that? Dog's dead.
Dog's dead. Shallow grave out back. We found it. It rained last night. That's funny.
So how's it going, Zach? Last day at the school?
Last day. It'll be the day after this episode, the day before this goes up. This is going to go up on Saturday. Tomorrow is Friday. We're recording this a day early. Going out tomorrow after work for my last day. Then everyone else has to be in super early for a meeting on Saturday. So I narrowly avoided that, clearly, by like less than 24 hours. So, no, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. I got all of my stuff done from my other job. I don't have my wallet here, or I'd show you my, partially show you my ID badge for the other job. I just cover it up, but I don't have that readily available. So, let's go. Let's see what's going on here. What have you been playing this week, Steve? What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing this week? Well, I've mostly been playing Rainbow Six.
Okay.
Played a lot of Rainbow Six this week. Obviously,
a lot of Rainbow.
Played some Borderlands 3 with you on Monday.
Yes,
which is
we did.
A game. No one's ever gonna get to see that. Apparently,
we're gonna have to figure something else out. So we had a recording fail. It can happen. This is the first one that we've actually had, right? Yeah. This is the first one that we've had, recording fail. So we're not sure what we're doing for videos next week. We're gonna have to do some sort of special recording on Saturday, and I'm just gonna edit literally all day Sunday. That's probably what's gonna happen.
I cannot believe I have to be to work at 7.
Oh, never mind. That's gonna be brutal if you have to record Saturday night.
No, by the time I get home at 4, like I would have played with my kids and spent enough time with my family where like going to sleep won't be an option at 10:30. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
well, you're gonna get out at 4.
Yeah.
Oh, then you'll have time to take a nap too, I'm sure.
No, there's no naps. I have 3 kids. Like if I sneak in a nap, then I'm robbing my wife, and I've done that a couple of times. But
all right, so we'll figure something out. There will be videos this week.
Yes,
there will be videos. Whether, maybe we don't do a recording and we just do it all based off of my videos, and I kind of put a little addendum at the end of our intro and say, hey,
we just use my Breakpoint videos that I've been recording.
We could do that. Hey, if you have Breakpoint videos, send me one. Send me 2. I'll check them out. I'll edit them down, make them usable into 30-second clips.
Yeah. The 30-second clip is of you peeing on the monitor. Like, this is Steve playing Breakpoint.
It's actually just me talking over it. Well, I thought this was going to be an interesting game to talk over, but clearly it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty.
Yeah, don't you know my love is real? No, I've been playing some Rainbow Six,
Okay.
not getting better at it, but not dying as quickly. So that is
getting better. That is progressing.
Yes. What I've been watching some other players, and I'll just watch their play style, and I don't care what any of those guys say, any of the Rainbow Six snobs that I've seen play thus far. I want to type them in chat and be like, hey, why don't you just go play Call of Duty? Because that's what it seems like we're playing right now. Like, what was the point in putting up all these barricades if my entire team then decided, at the last minute, they're like, you know what? We're going to go for it.
So,
and they all get killed.
Do you know who you should watch play Rainbow? Because I think she's a really good player that you could learn from. Is Ammunition. No, not B-Nans. I don't know what she plays. Ammunition.
Really?
You should watch her play. She is a mid to top level plat player in ranked, so she's not top rank, but she's really high, probably top third. She's not top one, right? So I think you should watch Anne, and I think you'll learn a lot from Anne. Just the way that she plays, the way she positions herself, the way that she, she doesn't have the world's best aim. She's not Shroud, right? But she has really good aim, something that you could really easily get to the level of. So. Right. I think that would be good for you to watch. I think you should watch Anne.
You know what? Got to get a new desk. Any little bit helps, right? So this surface that I have here, you've seen it, is great because it's actually real wood. So the mouse goes across it really well. Problem is, there's not enough of it. So I find myself doing this thing, but my mouse, I'm like, shit.
I do that too, though. I do that too, and I have legitimately my full this is hard to do. My full arm across like this space. That's a good amount of space, right?
Yeah, that's good.
And I'm still doing that. Just I run my DPI and my mouse super low, so
okay.
I actually like having to move, reset. So
okay. I thought maybe I was going crazy.
I like that. Some people don't. Some people don't. Some people like to have a bigger mouse space or run their mouse faster to be able to not have to do that. For whatever reason, I enjoy doing that.
I gotta be honest, so in regards to the mouse is great. Keyboard is what it is. Aim is good. Response time is getting quicker because now I'm starting to obviously know the map. So I'm like, oh, that dude's coming from there. I've been working on listening for footsteps, and I've been practicing that by playing Breakpoint. So you only have a few seconds. There's no bullet sponge in that game. You only have a few seconds to respond. You get shot once, you're already halfway dead. You get shot twice. So you got to know where people are coming from. So that's been helping me with that. But obviously, it's different playing with AI versus real people. And there's
I agree.
There's a latency that I have to get used to because, maybe I'll hear his steps before he's actually there. I don't know what his internet connection is like, but I'm waiting and I'm like, okay, what's happened?
Yeah. A game like Rainbow, the footsteps are so important that it's like, if you're good at listening for footsteps, you're 30% of a better player.
Yeah, 100%.
So, you're a 30% better player just off the bat. If you've played, other games where footsteps important, you're just a better player in Rainbow just by default, which is really cool to see, actually. Really, I like when games have the ability to have transferred skills from something else that you might.
Yeah. Oh, see something interesting I wanted to talk to you about. I'm just going to raise my keyboard up here.
Okay.
There was a battery. So, I have the normal layout for play like everyone else. But I seen a guy playing with only this area, the numlock area.
Don't care. He's an idiot. That guy's opinion doesn't matter to me because I don't understand it.
Is that something new you've come across, or is it
I've never seen it. I've literally never seen it. Everyone always used WASD and then a mouse. The only time I've ever used the numpad in gaming is Grand Theft Auto when you have to fly a helicopter or something. It uses the numpad to fly the helicopter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And I've learned that, but that's one instance that I've ever used that.
See, that's probably how most traditional skaters felt the first time they seen someone goofy footing. They're like, well, that guy is clearly handicapped. I don't know what's going on.
Or someone skate switch. Like do a kickflip and then do a switch flip. Like, well, wait a second. You can do that?
You're breaking all the rules right now. So that's what I've been playing. Having a lot of fun with it. You know, here's the one thing I don't understand. Oh, wait, wanted to talk about this in regards to Breakpoint, right?
Okay.
They're bringing back Team AI. I don't know why it's a big deal, but
okay.
Ubisoft sent down an email. I didn't
Hate
get mine
Ubisoft.
because I didn't open my Ubisoft email account, but I seen the alert in game,
Okay.
and I listened to someone else's recap that basically that apparently Ubisoft over the years has made enough mistakes where their community recognizes like they always make good on it, right? They always release the update patch. They always try to do what they can to support
Ubisoft
it.
sucks.
But I guess they're bringing back Team AI, and it's like I'll finally have someone to play Breakpoint with because I went on. You know how in the Division you get that one guy that's always asking for backup, and maybe you'll go help him, maybe you won't. But there's always like agent requesting backup coming through in Division 2.
I've heard recently that in the Division there's no longer that.
I heard it the other night when I was playing. I had a great time. Jumped in, just went through, and just had me some fun.
There's a soft spot in my heart and in the back section of the brain for the Division. I love the game, both 1 and 2. I thought they were very good games, but they're only good games for like 35 hours. And that's it. If I can't get more than that out of a game, it's not worth buying. At that rate, I probably won't buy the third one if it ever comes out.
There's definitely, I don't know if there will be a third one, but
I would hope so.
I would say this, right? But that's another game I played this weekend just to kind of get used to more running around with the keyboard and response time.
Mhm.
It's so much fun shooting someone in the head with a sniper rifle, and then he didn't go down. I'm like, son of a. I got that guy square in the head. And he's
Someone
like,
hit me?
Someone throwing pellets at me again.
What is happening?
But that's what I've been playing. I've been playing those games, man. And
Okay.
I looked at my COD and I was like, I got myself pumped up. I'm like, all right, let's do this. And I was like, you know what? It's probably a bad idea. I'm gonna go to bed instead because I know I'm gonna get sucked in. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be announcing some new stuff for some new people. Are we announcing it now? What we're planning on doing?
I don't think we haven't quite fleshed it out all the way yet, but we can give it a hint, right? There will be COD videos, will be Rainbow Six videos, but we haven't quite fleshed out formatting, names, how we want to do everything yet. So that will be coming in the next coming weeks. And then at some point, I don't know. There's no t-shirts. Not yet. Not yet. I have t-shirt ideas planned, by the way. There's a few stored up there. But yeah, eventually. But the COD videos, yeah, we're gonna be coming with those, and at some point we're gonna be taking challengers.
Yeah,
So.
we plan on going in 2 weeks before the game is officially dead and dominating the last 12 people playing the game.
That's exactly what I plan to do, because I haven't played it since last week. So.
Really? What have you been playing then?
I've really just been playing WoW and kind of just hanging out. So
really?
I didn't play anything on Tuesday. Right, Tuesday was a long day for me. So I went to bed early on Tuesday. Monday we recorded Borderlands. Even I think I might even been a little late to Borderlands recording because I was playing WoW. Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday and today I was just playing some WoW. I want to play COD. I want to like the game, but they patched the 7.25 and somehow made it stronger. So they attempted to nerf the gun and somehow made it stronger. So I just can't support it anymore. Until they make the necessary steps to fix the game and actually listen to either the community or just hold their place in what they want the game to be. Like, you have to make, at some point you have to make a stand, right? You have to be the person who tries to please everyone, or you have to be the person who pleases yourself. And it's the same way in game developers, right? You have to do the thing that your community wants, or you have to stand your ground and say, hey, listen to us. We're the game developer. We're going to make a good game. Bear with us through these initial steps, and then 3 patches in, it's going to be what everyone is going to appreciate as a good game. And they've been kind of not on either side. They've been
Right.
kind of tweaking things, but not to the point that everyone wants. And but they've been tweaking things, so it means that they're kind of somewhere down the middle of where they want to be with this game. So
Yeah, I know you schooled me on it. I don't know. There's a term from my previous career where they would use it to describe something called euphoric recall, where you only obviously that's self-explanatory what it means, but and I think about when games used to come out when I was younger. I was like, man, I just don't feel like there was many glitches, but we had that whole conversation. You were like, what about this game? And what about this game? I'm like, oh yeah, I
right,
guess
and
they
they were
were
full of bugs.
bugs.
But
Yeah.
that was it. There was no way of patching stuff back then.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
until the 360 and the PS3 was there really a good way of patching. That's when
Actually,
online became a
I think the first game I had a DLC, and this is not even obviously not a patch, but the first game I ever downloaded something where a DLC was available was on the PS3, and it was for Dante's Inferno, which was a game that, okay, so that's a game that did not do well, was not
I heard it
received
was.
well.
I thought I heard it was actually pretty good from like reviewers.
It was amazing. It was absolute. The game was amazing, and I'm going to say this: I don't think I ever had to turn my console off once to start the game over because I got stuck between a wall or anything like that. But that has happened to me multiple times playing Shadow of Mordor. Like I've gone in for a stealth kill and jumped into the negative zone. So I feel your pain, dude. I feel
Yeah.
your pain.
I've done that a few times on different games, but I don't even mind DLC anymore. I've been so brainwashed by games with DLC that I don't care anymore that I'm paying full price for 70% of a game.
Yeah.
I just want the game to have support, right?
Right.
This actually lends really well as a transition into one of our topics here tonight.
What's
what
that?
makes you hate a game? What makes you absolutely despise a game? Everyone knows what makes a game good, right? Replayability, general fun, the wanting to play it, right? That level of addiction, right? That makes a game good. What makes you hate a game?
You know what makes me hate a game? Let's take a game like Days Gone, right? I was super pumped for that game, man. I was the advertising had me hook, line, and sinker. And what makes me hate that game is it's not even a story because I dig the story a lot. I like the zombie premise.
Okay.
The gameplay itself is so wonky. I can't even
Clunky is the word that they use to describe video games. So.
Yeah, it's so clunky that makes me hate it. Like the character in scenarios where he should run fast doesn't have the ability to run fast. So you can't outrun a predator that can run fast, right? Can you imagine how frustrating that is where you need to get out and you can't get out of the situation?
Yes, that's common in games that have poor design. If you can just run away from everything that's dangerous, right?
Yeah.
So if you can just run away from everything that's dangerous, it takes the entire danger out of the game. So you have to put something in there where you're limited in some fashion versus certain enemies.
No, obviously it keeps you.
But it's lazy. What I was getting to is it's lazy.
Yeah, there's that. What else makes me hate a game? We'll stick on that game for instance. The melee weapons, right? In this game, it's almost pointless unless it's a stealth. So I don't want it to be there. I want to be able to take that out and only be able to use it in regards to stealth because that's what makes me hate it. That's another thing that makes me hate a game. When you can't customize it in a way that makes sense. Do you know on the original Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, you could actually customize your controls to the point where you're like, all right, this is how I lay out this combo. And now think about what we're talking about. The Super Nintendo.
Okay.
They gave you the ability to go
to change your button layout.
Yeah, to change your button
cool.
layout and to save it actually. It would stay saved every time you came into the game.
That's cool.
Can't do that with Days Gone. Hate that shit. Hate that game. Hate those people. Never gonna get that time back. That's what makes me hate a game. And that when a game overpromises and underdelivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely a big thing. I've come to expect that in games that I can kind of pick them out of a crowd now. But I'm a grizzled internet gaming veteran.
Yeah, you ruined a few launches for me. But I'm having a great time playing Anthem. I don't see what the
That's
big deal
fun.
is.
I never hated another game. I just don't know anything about it. What really makes me hate a game is lazy developing, right?
Right.
Retconning stories that shouldn't have been in there.
Right.
Making making bosses that just have invulnerability phases because you don't have any other way of making a boss hard, right? You
Right.
couldn't think of another mechanic to give it. And when a developer doesn't want to fix the game, right? There's been a few of those. Bethesda's notorious for this, right?
What games have they made?
Fallout, Elder Scrolls. There's been others, but those are the notable ones in my opinion. Fallout, you can't run the game above 60 frames per second because once it goes above 60, the game starts glitching out. You go faster in the game. The game runs faster. The entire speed of the game is based off of your frames per second. Now, see how that's probably an issue. Because if you go into a fight and you lag and drop to 7 frames per second, everything just slows down. Which, okay, that's fair. But the time also slows down, right? The frames per second obviously is going to make the game stutter, but the time in the game that has passed also slows down with it. If you add a mod to go above 60 frames per second to 144, like my monitor is, the game goes almost 3 times as fast. So that is super lazy coding. Bethesda does in every single one of their games. They won't fix issues in their games. Like there'll be game-breaking bugs where like you shoot a certain weapon and it just freezes the game or like ruins an entire portion of the map so you can never go back there because it, adds so many particles or something. They won't patch game-breaking bugs like this. They release a game and that's it. A lot of DLC, that's it. So that like developers more so make me hate games than actual game mechanics.
What about communities?
I don't care, really, because in League I didn't really care about the community because I just muted everybody if I needed to. Call of Duty I don't care about the community because I could just mute everybody, right? I don't have to listen to those people. I don't care. You can put stigmas around a game from a community, but what is a stigma if you go in and just not pay attention to the people around you, right?
I mean, as long as I don't have to bump into these people at GameStop, it's like, oh goodness, here
These
comes the
people
cop.
don't go to GameStop. No one goes to GameStop was the real point of that comment. It was the last time we were at a GameStop.
I remember I went in there when we were at the mall. You were getting your food from Wendy's, and I just walked over just to see what was going on.
You walked in and walked out.
Yeah, some guy came from that. Good evening, sir. We have your Sega Genesis pre-ordered. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get out of
You're
here.
like, I haven't paid for that yet. I'm sorry.
It was pretty bad. I think another thing that makes me dislike a game is lack of content and the option to return to it. Right?
Yeah, this is the lack of replayability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like once I beat Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, I did not go back and like, oh man, I have OP character. Let me just go have some fun.
Okay.
Didn't do it.
That isn't the end all be all in games though. That's not like that's not your one voter subject, right? That's not your like, oh, I can't go back. Right. Yeah, that's that. I was trying not to use that, but that's, if I play a game once through and I'm satisfied with it, go, you know what? I enjoyed that experience. I'm fine with it. Maybe don't want to play it again, but, I had a good time while playing it. I could still enjoy and appreciate that game.
Right. That would be true. I would guess that for me, that's more true with Shadow of Mordor because the story came to a conclusion. And then it was like, if you want to go back and play, hey, you can go back and play like New Game Plus or something like that. The problem with, spoiler alert, if you haven't played the game, I'm sorry, it's been out for almost 4 or 5 years now. But Shadow of War actually doesn't end when the game is supposed to end.
Okay.
It has an extra campaign mode where it's like the story comes to an end, and then it's like, all right, hey, so now this guy, you did this, and we're technically outside the lore of the Lord of the Rings now, so we're in uncharted territory. So we're just gonna give you a bunch.
We're going off the rails.
Yeah, we got a bunch of quests for you to do. You're gonna max out your fort, destroy a bunch of other forts, and then after you do that for about 60 more hours, then we'll give you the real ending. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that, dude.
So
Like,
that goes along the lines of lazy developing, right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we put a bunch of filler because we didn't have enough content to fill this section of the game where it's post act 2, but not quite finished, right?
Yeah.
You know who does a really good job at filling their games from start to finish? Rockstar. Rockstar will
I would
have
agree with that.
Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know if you play Grand Theft Auto 5. I actually really liked the story mode in that game. You're playing 3 different perspectives of characters, right? And like inner city guy on witness protection who's like a freaking billionaire, and like not a billionaire, he's a millionaire, right? And then a guy who lives up in the sticks who has no money, who's cooking meth, right? You play 3 different perspectives that each have their entire story arc that perspective or respective character has, that comes together at the end and then has like even like an act 3 of a campaign, right?
Right.
That concludes at the end, and then you have an end, right? And then you could just continue to live in the world afterwards, right? And go back and just mess around, whatever. But the story is really well done, and there's enough side quests, there's enough actual quests, there's enough stuff in the game that it's actually really enjoyable. And then the multiplayer is really cool too. But
yeah, you just sold me on that game.
I love GTA 5, dude. I really do. GTA 5 is, if you can get it on sale for, less than $20, is like way worth it. Super cool.
Really?
Yes. The Red Dead games, really good at doing this too, right? You have a really well done story with really well done cinematics that has a livable world around it. Rockstar does a really good job at that, is making a world around their games.
Yeah. Obviously not playing Red Dead on my computer.
No, I will buy it when it goes on sale, but it has been a rough launch so far, which Rockstar is notorious for.
And that leads me into another reason why I might abandon a game, is if it has a rough start and continues. I know this is kind of covered by not being supported, but even if they're providing support, it just kind of comes to a point where you're like, all right, so the game is trash, right? The game is trash. The patches have come out. I'm not playing this anymore.
So it's a yes and no thing, right?
Right.
With Red Dead, the game itself is so good that I would overlook the bugs and issues of, the launch that Rockstar is having. Notorious that Rockstar does this every time it comes out, but the core game is so good that I can look past that. But like a game like Fallout 76 that had a terrible launch and then was just a terrible game underneath it, you don't look past that. You go, okay, launch was bad, game wasn't good enough to look past it underneath. Goodbye.
To be fair to Rockstar, when it rolled out on the consoles, there were no issues.
No, there was no issues.
It worked fine. Apparently, shout out to Bitwit. He had to use like his Hotline Bling 2 computer, which is like the super rig in his house, just to be able to play the game.
Right. I think a lot of those issues are starting to get fleshed out from what I've seen, but Rockstar's notorious for this. This is why I don't buy Rockstar games immediately when they launch.
Day of.
Right. I'm not a day one Rockstar.
Dead franchises is another reason why I'll start to hate a game. So the Injustice game was great. The very first Injustice was
the
fun
first
to
one.
play.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. We all decided to play that game again, and like I was done with it after our last like 12 matches. I was like, this game sucks.
But it was the same 2 characters. And it was just, it actually, you know what? The game was so bad that I could take games off of you.
Yeah.
That's how I know that it was bad.
It was that. It wasn't just that, because you were actually, you were good in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you were good at the game. What sucked about it was that I was like, you know what? These players feel really stiff. There's nothing to the combos. And once I figured out that the super was just, it didn't require any skill to do it. It was just more about timing and being able to tag it, which is fun for the first 10 minutes. But then after a while, it's like, all right, there's never a chance that I'm going to hit you with this thing again unless you're drunk.
Even if I'm drunk, I'm holding down. That's it. I'm blocking the entire time. Look, I have that wit about me.
Dead franchises, and I don't want to offend my Street Fighter friends, but I feel like Capcom passed up an opportunity in the day of crossovers to finally give us what we want. Even if it would have been unplayable at first, I would have played Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter. I don't know who led the campaign to design that game, but in my mind, Street Fighter is a dead franchise, right?
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
It's a Walking Dead franchise, like. I actually played Street Fighter at one point for the stories, which was the point, to see how every character's story ended after winning the tournament. And now I'm just like, I looked at it the other day. I just looked at some character rollouts, and I was like, well, I don't know what's going on here. This woman has
Yeah.
obnoxiously huge breasts. Is she? What is this? And then so that's another thing. I don't think I'll be playing what is the game that everyone hates to love to hate? Death Standing or
Death Stranding. This
Yeah.
is the game that, if we recall, that I called that was going to be garbage.
Some people love it though.
Yeah, some people are
Appar-
stupid. That's okay.
Apparently, the Americans can't handle it because it's not a first-person shooter.
Ah,
That's what
Dude,
the man said.
have you
said that-
seen the game?
He said
Have you
that it
seen
was
any of the
well
gameplay?
res- Oh yes.
It looks like you're a UPS driver.
Yeah.
You're delivering packages back and forth.
A disgruntled one at that.
It looks awful. Can I just get? I'll just play American Truck Simulator. I'll play European Truck Simulator. I own a copy of one of those games. I will play it. I have 3 monitors. I can look out both windows whenever I want. I'll play it. I don't want to play a game set in a future world that seems interesting
Right.
that I'm delivering packages in. I don't want to be a future UPS driver. I don't want to be a current UPS driver.
They got some good combos in there though. He throws a few. I watched some gameplay. And it's like,
There's
look at that.
combat? Every time I've seen people playing the game, they're driving a trike that has 2 wheels in the front and 1 wheel in the back, because who thought that would be a good idea? Driving over rocks, going, oh. I saw one the other day that a guy had 9 packages on his back and 2 little carts that were strung to him that floated that had 9 more packages each. And I'm like, get a truck, dude. Get a truck with a box truck. Like, get something you can carry packages in other than carrying them on your back.
Oh man, it's the French love it. All right, that's what
The
man said.
French?
Apparently it was received very well in France, and that's what I'm not
The
gonna try to
French
confirm
like
that.
it. How many French people are there?
But
3, 4 million?
We're about to go off here, so I'm giving us permission to go. So what's the guy's name who designed the game? Designed Metal Gear Solid.
Hideo Kojima?
So he released that rebuttal about the turbulent reviews from fans and critics alike, right? And he's like, well, obviously, I feel like, though, since it's not a first-person shooter, maybe it's not hitting America the way that. And he wasn't trying to be a dick. And he was just like, that's very popular in America right now. First-person shooters seem to be taking over the market. But someone responded. He listed the entire top 30 games in sales and reviews, and none of them were first-person shooters. He's like, your game.
He's like,
just
the games that are the highest rated in first person shootery are League of Legends. These 17 mobile games.
Yeah. No, there was not one
Peggle.
FPS.
Yeah,
It was
League is up there probably. Like, best selling games of all time. Is that what we're talking about?
no, just best reviewed and well received yet.
Best review. I don't even know. I don't listen to IGN, but still, like, dude, how could this guy still even after the last like 3 Metal Gear games were just considered garbage? Like, who cares?
Dude, I rewatched.
People love this guy for no reason. This guy's not a good game.
I implore anyone that's watching this, go watch the ending, the third ending to Metal Gear Solid 4. And I watched it the other day, and I was like, this is the most dramatic nonsense. I remember beating that game and getting to that point where I was looking at the character raps, and I'm like, I just wanted to throw my PlayStation against the wall. I was like,
I'm trying to see the best reviewed games on IGN, right? I'll just use IGN as a Pokemon Go is number 1. Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2? Divinity Original Sin 2, Dishonored, Fantasy. Assassin's Creed Black Flag, terrible.
That was a great game. I had a great time playing
You
that
played
game.
Assassin's Creed 4?
Yeah.
Really? I thought
Yeah.
that was one of the worst ones. I didn't like the ship battle. Monkey Island 2, Lee Chuck's Revenge, Burnout
I like the
3.
ship battles.
These
Wait,
are
you
all
played-
garbage.
You play that silly pirate game. How can you not? That is like
So I play that game to Pirate Battle. I play Assassin's Creed for combat.
I got you. But Assassin's Creed's never been like a real combat heavy game. It's more of a stealth game and strategy than anything else.
Correct.
Because if you,
So why would
Yeah.
you be out in the middle of the ocean on a boat fighting other boats if it's a strategy game?
because he was a pirate this time. God damn it, I had a good time.
And then I might as well be raping and pillaging islands. Soul Calibur, SimCity 2000. Yeah, these are all. None of these. One game is first-person
Nope.
shooter.
Yeah.
Only X
And
Pro Skater 2 is
we're
on.
talking about in America, right?
This is just IGN. Borderlands 2 is the only shooter on there, but I don't even consider it like a.
So, and that's another reason that will make me like disappointing conclusions to previous installment of the game. Like, I know there was a Metal Gear Solid 5. I was aware of it. But after my experience with 4, which if you go back, you play the real, is the game that made me get back into gaming again. Was I was playing Metal Gear Solid 4 and I was like, oh man, I'm gonna play this, and then I
Yeah.
got God of War, so that whole shebang right there. But I do recall beating the game, and I was like,
Oh.
and this is also why I am not hugely into anime, and I'm willing for the anime club to come at me too. There comes a point. There comes a point where the story has gone so far off the rails where I'm just like, all right, well, I'm done with this nonsense.
Okay.
So I never played 5, but I'd say my
Okay.
top 3 least favorite games right now is Days Gone, paid for it.
Warned
Oh,
you.
what else?
Okay, keep
Yeah,
going.
did warn me. Days Gone. Believe you're not gonna believe me when I say this, but Shadow of War, because of that one element where it's like
That's fair.
the story mode. And then also I would have to say another game I dislike strongly at this point is that last Injustice game. Like those are 3 games that I would have to yeah. Every once in a while I think about turning Days Gone and on, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. That's fair.
What are your top 3 never returning to these games besides the Division?
Oh, so I don't hate the Division. Not enough content. Top 3? I don't know. I could probably look.
Gears. I know Gears is gonna be in there somewhere.
I didn't pay for it, so I really don't care. Never returning to it. City Skylines.
Okay. Don't
Just-
know what that is.
So, do you know what SimCity is? Where you build. cities?
Yes.
City Skylines is that on steroids. Like just straight cracked out version of this. Like it's insane. It's just it doesn't have multiplayer. It would be a good game if it had multiplayer.
Wait. Can you not interact with other people in the game? Isn't that the
Nope.
point of
Nope. You build the city. You build your city, and that's it. That's it.
They're like, keep it pushing, citizen. Good job.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Fallout 76. I'll never return to that game. Really hopeful for it, and it was just
Awful.
and then another surprise because I actually do love this game deep down. H1Z1.
What is that? I've heard
H1Z1 is a battle royale. It's the battle royale that put battle royales on the map.
Okay.
And it was amazing until they patched it out of being amazing. Like at what like as far as battle royales go, peak H1Z1, I forget what patch it was, but it was like 3 months before the patch that ruined it, was the best, most exciting, most fun battle royale ever. Like by a margin. So patch that one into oblivion, change the gun mechanics, change the movement mechanics, change the way that you parachute in, and change the map, and it was just trash, and everyone simultaneously stopped playing it. To this day, you cannot go in and get a lobby. They literally reverted it to the patch that everyone was like, "Yo, this is awesome," and then they were just like, "Nope, fuck you," and no one came back to it.
It's horrible, man. You should try sticking a game out.
I can't play it. I can't. You literally can't. You can't fill a lobby, dude. You cannot fill a lobby. Like you can't get 100 people together to play the game.
Oof.
That's how bad it is.
I'm trying to think if there's anything like that.
No,
No, that's
there's
pretty
even
bad.
more people who bird watch on a regular basis. You could join a bird watching forum and go out with like 50 people right now to go freaking look at blue-footed boobies.
well. I think you know what really sucks about when a game dies. Oh, actually, this is because someone else already did this segment on their show. But when a game dies, but there's always at least one guy still waiting for someone else to come in. This guy
There
did a
is,
segment
yeah.
on his channel. He's like, I just want to pop into the PS3 servers, see who's still playing games online. And sure enough, he found a game with someone. He was like, hey man, how come you don't play on PlayStation 4? And he's like, oh, well, I just can't afford it. He's like, oh, cool, I can dig that. I'm out of here.
Poor person.
It's signed out.
That's funny, dude.
It's hard being poor. But yeah, there it is, man. That's why that's what makes me hate a game.
Yeah, that's fair.
I almost hated COD. I gotta be honest with you. I was getting to that place. If we didn't figure out this whole GPU thing, I was getting to a place where I was like, I'm not letting this slide. I'm not taking another email like, thank you, dear consumer, but unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. I'm like, no, you're gonna do something. Someone's gonna be held responsible for this.
He was so mad within the first 24 hours of the game being out that it was actually scary. And it wasn't made out. I fixed it within 24 hours, to be fair. I was like, no. Try resetting your BIOS. Okay. Hey, it works. I'm like, well, okay, there we go.
There we go. Shot in the dark.
Yeah, I was definitely shot in the dark. So.
Well, that kind of segues into another good one here.
It does. It does. So you've been playing PC games for about 6-ish months now, right? Is give or take?
Hasn't been that long.
I think it's been about 6 months, right? How do you feel like you've progressed? How do you feel like day one Steve would fare against today's Steve?
Oh, I'd mop the floor with him. Even if he had the remote, I would mop the floor. I'm way more comfortable playing with a keyboard and mouse. Obviously, don't ask the same questions anymore. I know what's to run. Ironically, that's my name on one of the games we play.
Yep.
So I know that, and I'm also I like the comfortability of this. You can't see in my house. Thank God for that. But I like the comfortability of this small circumference. I could just sit and get into the game, and it'd be better when I have a chair. Graphics are obviously a lot better.
Yep.
Gameplay is a lot better with a 144 hertz monitor. Refresh rate's going to improve that. And so I'm trying not to poop on the PlayStation 4 because I said the same things about the PlayStation 4 when I moved to the 3. I was like, I've arrived. This is it. I don't know if they're going to make a 5, but I'll be sticking with this for a while. I also have gotten a lot better shooters.
Yeah.
So you have to keep it at what's relative, right? Playing with Zach, playing Borderlands, obviously it's a high kill count game. You're going to die a few times, which sucks that video is not going to go up because we actually had a pretty epic boss fight. Like that was.
You know what? We somehow are going to muster up some recording. You guys will have videos this week, but that boss fight was unusable. Other than for me to get the entire thing, speed it up by like triple, put music behind it, and go, here you go. Because it was doubled. Usually we get it all the way down to the end. And you know what? My fault. I died for the first time in the video. Right there.
Oh, that's right.
Right there. I had survived some ridiculous situations coming up to that just by pure just paying attention, dodging, and doing what I could. I die. End of that. And then Steve instantly goes down right after me, and we die. There was no coming back. There was no coming back. For as hard as I could try, we both died. And I respawn. I see Steve's dog spawn in, and Steve spawns in right behind me. He's like, "Hey, let's go finish him off." The boss reset. The boss reset, and we get back there. It's like, oh, okay, got to start it again. And I even jinxed it. I'm like, I hope it doesn't restart. Borderlands doesn't do
When I saw the power bar was all the way from back up, I was like, oh, man, he's gonna freak out.
I was so mad.
It was epic in the sense that match was that boss fight was epic because usually it's me with the intense, concentrated face on, just like, but like we were both deep in it on that
one.
So
not that I wanted to, but it was a had to moment.
It was
Sometimes
fun. I was
you
actually
encounter
having
these.
fun.
Yeah, I was too, until we died and had to do it again. And then I went super hard. I was like, okay, I know the phases, I know which vulnerabilities it has, and I know when to use my mech to do optimal damage.
I
I'm not
remember when we
dealing with
both realized when I supered my dog, it hurt him. Like, remember I hit
We're
him
like,
with the.
"Oh my God!" You just chunked him.
That hurts. Yeah, because it took like half of his energy. But that's also so. Here's another thing I'm loving more about the PC gaming, and you can do this on PlayStation 4. But I'm going to talk about from a new perspective why this is a little bit different. So I never did community games on PlayStation 4. I played Fortnite with my buddies once, and I was like, all right, that was fun. What I like about PC gaming is it's extremely easy, and I'm sure it's easy on PS4, but also I don't have to worry about lobbies too much. Group chat. Just go to
Yeah.
Discord.
We're there always.
We're there. Yeah, if I want to play with you guys, it's that easy, and I can talk to the people I want to talk to. I don't necessarily have to engage with everyone, and it's not mentally good to engage with a lot of people who play these games. So that part's really fun, and obviously now that I'm playing a lot more shooters, that's actually really fun because I never thought I would be into any of those games
Yeah.
at all. Like I would never play a game like Ghost Recon ever before.
Well, when you play games with people who enjoy to play the games, it makes it a little bit easier to play, right?
Yeah.
When me, Shane, Reggie, Pat, and Arcs are all playing together, and we're all having a good time, and you want to jump in, it makes it that much more enjoyable, and you don't even have to do anything.
Listen, here's the thing. We're gonna be honest. I get kills, and I get them when it counts the most. I ended a game of COD. Remember, I was the guy that got the winning shot in that one game we were playing in Paris. I killed that guy.
Okay, that's fair. It's the only kill you got the entire game. That's
No.
fair.
That was one of 4 kills I got.
I think that was one of one.
No, it was one of 4.
Because I remember I had like 3. Because I
My
hate
kill
that
count.
map.
My kill count goes up a lot higher when I'm not playing with you guys because you guys are grabbing kills. Not to mention, actually, you know what? There's a game I'm actually really good at on PC.
What is it?
Gears. I am amazing at Gears, dude. I am amazing. I'm good.
I wouldn't put that out there on the internet. Someone's gonna take offense to it. Someone's gonna come in here and be like, "Oh, I think you're good at this game, huh? Would you like to play?"
That, I live in my mother's basement, and I'm eating macaroni and cheese, and I'm ready to do this. No,
Yeah.
I'm good at Gears.
Coming
Dude.
along. You're coming along. That's the moral of this segment was
Yeah.
Steve is coming along. I want to see how he felt about the progression.
I'm ready to start. In a few weeks here, I'm gonna start putting myself out there for some. I'll tell you what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna play any more PvP on Ghost Recon because the people who do play that game, in spite of all its problems, are really good.
Are
And
they?
I mean,
Should I
yeah,
buy the game and go in there and be really good with them?
You're not gonna be able to do it in this one because they have things in there that are gonna piss you off.
I
Like
played
right
the
out the
PvP
gate.
in the first Ghost
Yeah,
Recon
yeah,
that came
and
out.
Wildlands. Did they have the
Yeah.
drones and everything in
Yeah.
there? All right, so there are guys playing this game. They're so good with their drone to twitch back into shooting action. I'm like, well, this is not fun for anyone else.
This guy's having the time of his life, and everyone else hates it. Everyone else is just here so that they felt like they got the money out of the game.
And Rainbow Six is coming along, dude. Like
Ooh.
that's actually a game I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna like dig deep into. But I'm getting better. Is the point?
Good. Are you
Here's
still
the point
playing the
about it.
newcomer lobbies?
Yes, and Rainbow Six only. Because there's no love for noobs in the other ones. If the game has to warn you, like when you play,
Hey, by the way,
we made something called newcomer lobbies.
please play. You can just play regular casuals.
Yeah, you can, but it's funny because I got more kills than that with you that day than I do in the newcomer lobby. Because I'm almost convinced that the people in the newcomer lobbies
It's just there to
aren't
warm
newcom-
up.
Yeah, they're not.
They're there
newcomers.
warming up. Oh, let's go play against Scrubs.
Yeah. Recording, laughing. Well, look at that one. He's stuck. He's running into the wall. But it's fun, man. I'm having fun.
I'm glad you're having a good time with it. I'm glad you're having a good time with it. It may be. You think buying the game so cheap made you have a little bit of a better time with it? Because there's less of a stress of. There's less of a stress of. I got to get $60 worth out of this game.
$6 is pretty amazing, and then not to mention like I thought I was gonna get more in the pack for $6 because it said it was the ultimate edition.
No, no. You gotta get the
bare minimum
super
edition.
ultimate edition to get anything cool.
You gotta get the $300 pack before you get anything with the statue and figurine.
Yeah, exactly. So before we get off of gaming quick, because I think we're actually gonna move off of gaming topics here very, very quickly.
Let's do it.
They
Why, we
they
gonna
have a
talk about
date
the
for Halo.
elections?
They
They do?
They announced a date for Halo.
Just right now, or
No, it was announced earlier today. I saw a rumor. The first one is coming out. Halo Reach for $10,
what?
which is as its full price, December 3rd.
Yep. I didn't want to step on your moment there, but I was about to say it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna buy the Master Chief Collection, which includes all of the game. It's $40. But
Nice.
Halo Reach, $10, December 3rd.
Steam store, or where is this?
It's in
Microsoft, right?
Steam. It's in Steam.
Okay.
Yeah, the Master Chief Collection, which includes all of the games, $40. So
Nice.
you heard
So
it here, 37th. Get the game. Get the game.
So let me get. You're gonna get the Master Chief. Are you gonna just run from the first one to like the latest one? You're in the Halo like that, or?
I've never played them.
Oh, okay.
I have the Master Chief Collection on the Xbox, back there somewhere. I have it. I've played multiplayer, and that's it. I've never played the campaign. I want to play the campaign with you, Shane, and Pete.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get into this.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna play it.
All right. All right. That's another thing about PC gaming. I have become less of a political animal, and it's better for me and all of the people around me because I play video games instead of trolling Twitter. Looking for
I was wondering where this was going. You're like, but now this is my release.
No, I'm looking forward to Halo, man.
Yes, I'm looking forward to Halo too.
Did they optimize? I know there were some issues they were worried about.
They've been doing test weekends, and apparently they think they're comfortable releasing it in December.
More than there was something about a 60 FPS. They're gonna unlock it and let it go higher than that apparently.
I don't know the information on that. Unfortunately, I have not well read on the subject. I just remembered it.
Well.
We can come back to this at a later date, closer to when the game comes out.
Well, in that case, what do you take inspiration from, Zach?
I was going to ask you that question to give myself more time to think.
Too late. I asked you.
So I thought of this question while listening to a Rogan podcast. Rogan recently did a podcast with RZA from Wu-Tang and Donnell Rawlings.
Okay.
I don't know who that is, but he did a podcast with them, and listening and now he's on a few podcasts with older hip hop guys, right?
Right.
And to listen to those guys speak is very interesting to me because these guys were making songs that were, to people like the Scorsese thing. Like this isn't cinema, right? Like a lot of times when that or a lot of opinion when that first came out, the rock guys were like, this isn't music, right? Like that was the opinion. To listen to these guys speak, and then RZA reiterated this when I heard him speak, is that these guys are incredibly intelligent, right? Yeah. They're super smart guys. Everything they did was calculated, like everything, like down to how they named their albums and what they were doing at the time and what they were into, and all of them was super calculated. And I've heard that from nearly every like old school hip hop like superstar. But these guys are always incredibly intelligent and like take inspiration from that, right? The gaming Twitch community is in that phase right now where TV's going, well, this is stupid, and sports analysts are going, well, this is stupid, and actors and all this stuff they're like, nah, well, YouTube and Twitch is just a fad. Like that's gonna fade away. This isn't real entertainment, right?
Right.
And for that, it's like, well, I want to make better stuff. I want to be a leading edge of that. And like, I think a lot of inspiration from stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's interesting the whole thing with hip hop and it not being music at the time, because there was a time where hip hop in New York City went hand in hand with punk rock, because you had two marginalized groups. Believe it or not, they would spend a lot of time in the same spaces, places like CBGB, Coney Island High, I'm telling my age right now, but they spent, and it wasn't like I was running around with any of these guys. I just know the stories, and they would spend a lot of time, and it is very much akin to what you see with what people, content creators, are going through on YouTube and Twitch and other platforms, because it's like, hey, we're providing an alternative means of entertainment, and we've gone over this ad nauseum, and I will say it again. If you'd have told me that gaming would be where it is at now, like at one point it was just fantasy. They made a movie called The Game Master or something like that. The first time someone you see people use the Nintendo Power Gloves, and it was a huge tournament. You know what I'm saying? It was a huge
Okay.
tournament with the kid from Wonder Years, and that was big back then because they had made a movie about gaming tournaments and some
Yeah.
kid on the road to doing it. And now here we are, where you can, a 16-year-old kid just won multi-million dollars,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
we had actual announcers that were, and this is what I appreciate about this too, is and I draw inspiration from this. You have announcers that are raised up from within the community. It's pretty weird if guys from ESPN who were just making fun of it last week are now
Right, coming
commentating on.
in
Yes.
and trying to perform a job. Because
Right.
to the people who are actually doing it, it's their life, right?
Yeah, and that will turn a hardcore person off. Who, by the way, if you ever disenfranchise those people, if they ever begin to feel like the market's moving away from them, the thing starts to collapse, right? Because it's
Correct.
built off
You
the
don't
back
have
of
that
it.
base, right?
Exactly.
Once your base falls, Florida knows this really well with all their sinkholes. Once the base falls, everything else on top of it crumbles.
Exactly. It's like a good
Florida
there's no good
sinkhole.
there's no good deep dish Chicago pizza. Stop eating that stuff, people. We all know it's bad. Just stop. But
Yeah, Steve is a big fan of the Ontario Canadian pizza.
But yeah, no, those guys were super calculated. Riz is an interesting guy too, because he's very interesting. Also, Jizza is very interesting because we're talking about guys that grew up in a very rough situation, a very different version of Staten Island and New York,
Mhm.
and I have a lot of respect for these guys. I would say I draw a lot of. You just took me back to my teenage years because I spent so much time listening to their music,
Yeah.
and because he was ahead of the game when it came to beat production. But things that I draw inspiration from, right? Obviously my faith. It's a huge portion. I draw inspiration from people amongst my faith. Obviously I draw a great deal of inspiration from my wife. Like and I don't even talk, just watching her
She
do.
behind you?
No, no. You just see the knife come up. Like, it's amazing to watch her see what she's done in her life and continues to do, right?
Okay.
Because she breaks a lot of boundaries and stereotypes of what people believe women are capable of and what they choose and choose not to do. And
Okay.
then I draw a lot of inspiration from people I hear lectures from, dude. Like, there's one guy that I really enjoy.
You watch TED Talks every day?
No, I stopped watching that stuff. It's not good for you.
You're like,
It's
they offered me to do one.
and then I knew that the quality of
It's just going way down.
there's a guy that I used to really enjoy listening to. I forget his name. He's a
Inspirational
lecturer.
speaker,
No, no, no.
lecturer.
He's actually a bona fide philosopher. So I make a huge distinction between motivational speakers,
Yes.
people who just they don't have any
They
real
speak for a living.
yeah, and they use words to get you going, like spectacular and imagination of moments.
Have you ever seen the video of one of those of the I don't know what the guy's name is, and I really feel like I should as part of the story, but he's a motivational speaker, but they just cut the entire thing down to every time he breathes in.
No.
So it's because he's like super energetic, he's up on stage, but then the entire video is as he's breathing in like 37 times in like 6 seconds.
Groupthink is a real thing. 'Cause when you're in a room and a room with 3,000 people, and some guy just keeps saying possibility of imagination. It didn't make sense the first 12 times, but now it makes a lot of sense. But like, say for instance, there's a guy I love enjoying. I'm gonna give a shout out to him without going super deep into it, but his name's Timothy Keller, right? And this guy is a super intelligent, articulate dude, and he has a way of articulating my faith where it's just like, man, this guy's amazing, but he's also very approachable, and I just enjoy
an intelligent person. I enjoy someone that can articulate their emotions. Not, and I'm the type of guy that responds to that type of stuff. So I draw a lot of inspiration from that. I also draw a lot of inspiration from Joe Rogan. Now that I'm sitting at his, looking at him, and thinking about how bad it could have gone for him. Right? And you want to talk about proof
For
that
Joe
there is a plan.
Rogan?
Yeah, like listen, everything in spite, his personal drive included. Just think about it,
He works hard.
dude. His career could have been over after Fear Factor. Usually, you don't recover from those type of shit, right?
Hold
Like
on,
people,
from Fear Factor?
Fear Factor and other things.
You know how
dude.
much money he made off of Fear Factor?
I know, but do you know?
Do you know
he
how
was-
iconic of a show Fear Factor is?
Hold on, dude. You're not old enough to remember this. Fear Factor made him a pariah. People hated Joe Rogan when he was on that show. dude.
Really?
Yeah, to the point where they even brought it up in like American Dad. Dude. And it wasn't because he was doing anything. It was just like, it was considered lowbrow type of stuff. I'm trying to remember what they were doing on the show in the time period, right? It's not Joe Rogan's fault, but people were eating like bugs and stuff like that. That was still taboo at the time, if you can imagine the time when that was. But also think back to, he was in the ground level UFC when this was basically sanctioned bar fights, right? That's what people saw it as. And he brought like a legitimate commentator element to it, right? Because the guy knew about jiu-jitsu, he knows about taekwondo, and he increased his intelligence. And like, he's also a huge reason that a lot of people, I would say 4 out of 10 people, started their YouTube journey listening to Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
This is a guy who is like self-made, and also I enjoy him too because I draw a lot of inspiration. Because even though he has his beliefs, which dictates the way he maneuvers throughout his life, he is willing to have people come on his show and get this, because this is dangerous to say in 2019. Don't agree with him, and he'll still give them a platform to
Yes.
have a conversation. And you know what doesn't happen afterwards? A Twitter war. Because
Nope.
I can't.
Because he's
I can't stand.
he's an adult,
Exactly.
right? Like that's the thing. If you can't have a conversation with someone and then afterwards shake hands and it be okay, then what's the point of the communication, right? Rogan does that really well, I think.
Yeah, he does it extremely well. There's another dude I draw a lot of inspiration from. I like debates. I like theological debates. It's something I get into really deeply. And there's one debate that I love between a dude named, I won't even mention names, but it's between an evangelical Christian and a pretty orthodox Muslim imam. But here's the thing that stood out about the debate. These guys gave each other gifts at the beginning of the debates, and so I draw a lot of like inspiration from acts of kindness. Like, so they're friends. They obviously they will not give each other a pass. He'll never validate his beliefs, and the other will never validate. Like, there won't be that moment where they're like, well, maybe we agree on some stuff. They're like, no,
No, you're allowed to disagree, right?
right. But they showed up to the debate, and the imam brought the evangelical guy who's extremely orthodox in his views. He brought him like some very rare to find text.
Okay, that's cool.
And I would like to envision myself as that type of person one day that can still say, "Hey, man, I don't agree with anything Zach says, but I know he likes bonbons. I'm gonna go get these bonbons and bring that up." I like civility. Does that make sense?
Yeah, civility is good, dude. That's how general discourse was made, right? Like, if you're not civil in a conversation, then like there is no point of having a conversation because it's not going to go anywhere, right? If non-civil conversations end up in arguments, and arguments don't fix things.
No, but I mean, there is a time to stand and plant your feet, even in the conversation, and state
Correct.
clearly. I'm trying to. We got to be careful here, right? Because I have to make sure I use the exact words that don't get us banned. But there is a time to stand up and say, "This is what I believe in," and not falter. But being able to have that dialogue with someone else, vital, right?
Mhm.
It's vital. And for me, that's where I draw the most inspiration from, is from guys who can do that. I'm a guy that respects a man's man. I know that I'm a dying breed.
Okay, fair.
Like,
That's fair.
like I am the guy in the supermarket. I'm just like, yeah, listen,
I can admit to having a manicure, but I will also tell you I'll never do that again. Why? Because it's unnecessary, right? It's
I've
this
never
is
had
not.
one. And that's
This
not
is
even me
not.
being a jerk. Literally never had
like,
one.
like, I get that you want good cuticles and stuff like that, but
What's a
it's just
cuticle?
like-
I have no idea, dude.
Is it an organ I can live without?
How do I get it cut out?
You know, also, if we're talking about people I draw inspiration from, you know who Jean-Michel Basquiat is?
Who?
Never mind. So Jean-Michel Basquiat was an artist from the early 80s, late 80s. Actually had a romance with Madonna. And as an African American, I draw a lot of from this type of guy because he would not allow himself to be put into a box as a stereotype. Like guys like him, Malcolm X, a few other people who just say, "Hey, you know what? You don't get to define me.
Yeah.
I define who I am." Right? You know?
Yeah, I could appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Rizzo looks very intense in this conversation too, dude.
It was hilarious. I've
What's he
listened to
talking-
like the first hour about it, but it's really good. It's really good so far. I'd actually really recommend watching that Rogan episode for sure.
Did they talk about kung fu at all? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
I can see
Yeah,
that.
because he asked him, you know, how did you start watching kung fu movies, and he goes through the story, right?
Jim Kelly.
About it goes through the story about how he like, you know, was going to the movies and like, you know, how, you know, he came from a family that was like an expense to, you know,
Yeah.
the $1.25 to go out to the movie and stuff. So he told a really, really, really good story. And obviously I would butcher it trying to even, you know, come close to retelling it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, like the kind of stuff like that where people like outside of the norm made their own genre and made their own thing legitimate. I take a lot of inspiration from my father, right?
Yeah,
It comes from a man that came from absolutely nothing, right? A very, very, very poor family, and to be well-to-do, right? You know, to be a fairly you know, well-off man. So like, and I understand where he comes from on a lot of subjects and such. So yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from my dad. People who are super successful at things, right? That's another area. It's someone who can go to the top of their field in like an impossible, you know, area. Like the fact that Amazon is taking on Walmart as competition after Walmart had been a staple of the highest end of retail and consumer goods for what, 60 years or something, and then Amazon comes in and is now a competitor to them. That's incredibly interesting to watch. And to listen to Bezos talk about, or Bezos, or whatever his name is, Jeff Bezos, to talk on how he did it and stuff like that. That's super interesting to me. That's very inspirational is to see someone rise to the top of their field, whatever the field is, martial arts, baseball, you know, just sports in general, like right, anything, right? To see someone rise to the top of their field and be the definitive top of their field, it's really interesting.
You know, no, it is because when you look at, let's take two guys for instance. You have a guy like Magic Johnson, right? Magic Johnson got into the entrepreneurial part of the end of his career very early. Had mentors, people ushering him in. That way, he was asking the right questions, and yeah, I like his style on that.
Yep.
I do enjoy Michael Jordan a little bit more because he's a little bit closed. He's a little bit more closed mouthed about what he does for the community. Like I know he's done things for many years and he's taken a lot of unnecessary criticism. But
Okay.
to watch a guy like that become a legitimate billionaire, right? Like not just like there is capital in that billion, right? He doesn't like he's a legit billionaire.
Right. He's a legit like
billionaire.
billionaire. Correct.
And he has enough money where he can actually open up not with partners, but on his own with his own money, a medical open up an urgent care and a medical clinic in a community that needed it with high end materials to run that facility. I like that type of stuff. It's like, all right, so I don't think just because you're rich you have to give your money to poor people, right? Or people less fortunate to you. But I think it makes it that much more special when someone says, "Hey, you know,
Right, the philanthropist is really is a really interesting thing. Current modern times, LeBron James is doing that.
Exactly. And
Right.
it's like
LeBron James he's sending kids to college. He built
exactly.
he built that school in his hometown. Like, yeah, LeBron James is doing
Opened
that.
a school in South Africa. I
Yeah.
actually don't think I try not to allow the racial identity thing to be something that dictates what a person should have to do. Because really, you don't have to do anything, right? You don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
You can leave. You can leave your community and just go, hey, thanks for having me. I am the one that got the scholarship. You know, I
Right.
did this.
See you when I get buried.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
But to come back, but to make the choice to come back and do something like that is amazing. And
Yeah, it's
I
interesting to see.
I also draw a lot. You brought up dads, and I was thinking about it. My dad is an interesting character, and he's always taught me the value of being able to stand up for yourself. So I get a lot of that from him. I get
Okay.
more of it. I get more of it from my mom, but I draw a lot of inspiration from him. Draw a lot from my mom. Ground level, working at American Express when they were using weighing computers. My mom has always taught me it's important to just show up and do your job. Like she show up, do the job you were hired to do.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where I get it from, man. It's like you should care about it, even if you're only getting paid $6.25 an hour.
I entirely understand that. Absolutely.
That's what's wrong with the youth. You know what? One last thing here's another thing. Is there a person, one person you would say you think you've inspired in this lifetime?
I properly
okay.
inspire someone, you shouldn't know that you did it. So no, but probably not.
You know what my hope is with the podcast, man? Like when we start having like guests and stuff on it. Also, Zach's trying to help me because I am a reformed, recovering debater, right? So it's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a shopaholic.
I am not a shopaholic.
Talk you off ledges all day.
It's like this thing or this thing.
I come and kick both out of your hands. Like, no.
I would like to, have conversations with people about this type of stuff, right? So right now it's just you and I having a conversation, and we hope that you guys will have a conversation with us in the comments. But that's a hope that I draw. I get a lot of inspiration from you too, Zach. It's funny because you're younger than me, you're angrier than me, you're just.
I think we're fairly equal levels of angry.
No, my anger is more of a warm hotness in my heart, and it's starting.
Mine is a radiating heat just out. Is a radiating heat out?
Now I kind of want to go watch this Joe Rogan interview, but I'm sorry, man. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes and 50.
Just watch it while you're driving back and forth to work over the next few days.
That's a long time to listen to RZA talk. He has a kind of distinct voice that.
I fall asleep after a while as the man is talking about being a vegan since '95.
Do you still have Netflix? Did you cancel your subscription yet?
I don't think I've ever had a subscription to Netflix.
What? I don't condone you stealing anyone else's subscription. Listen, if you get a chance, you should look up Jizza's show on Netflix. He travels the world talking to legitimate geniuses and innovators and inventors, and it's amazing because you would think this guy, like, what's this guy have to say about it? But he's actually a genius himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty funny too.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. What was it? What is it called?
I'm looking it up. I'm using the Google machine right
now. Okay,
you're
using the Google machine right now. No, I don't have a Netflix subscription. I have Hulu and ESPN, and I don't use either of them.
We just bundled the
everything together, right? Disney Plus in there.
Yeah.
What does Disney Plus have on it so far that would be worth getting?
For me?
Yeah, just in general, right? They have The Mandalorian, right?
Oh, you're talking about original content? Just The Mandalorian right now.
But no, but other than that, they don't have all of the Star Wars on it yet, right?
No, they have all of it.
Every single one of them's on there.
Everyone.
Too bad it's not worth the watching. Do they have every Marvel movie?
No, so there's licensing with the Marvel movies that some of them are still currently being streamed on Netflix. Once that ends, then they'll be rolled over.
Okay. Did they have the Marvel TV shows that Netflix was doing? Or is that the same situation?
Same situation. And that's an interesting one at that, because that actually wasn't Marvel, the evil Disney machine, that screwed that up. That was poor business practices upon Netflix.
Sure. I'm sure.
And, but
So it's been almost a year.
What else do they own?
since-
They own Fox too, right?
Yeah, they have all the
Is-
Simpsons stuff. Yeah.
Is Family Guy on Fox? Or is
Yeah, but
that
they would. Yeah, they would never put Family Guy on Disney Plus.
so? That's not on Disney. Oh, that would be on Hulu because they own that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so are they going to combine those at some point? Because it doesn't make sense to me. I heard the idea that they're going to put all the kid-friendly content on Disney Plus and all of the or the family-friendly content, not just kid-friendly, and all of the more adult content on Hulu.
Yes, and they win by doing that because they control both sides of the market.
As Disney does.
And
As
Disney,
Disney
if
does.
you're listening, I will kill Zach right now if you sponsor us. I'll kill him on air if you would sponsor us. For just
Too bad I control everything.
just kill him right now. I'm literally behind that door, behind his head. Just come out and do it. But yeah, okay. So they have the entire Disney vault. So that means a lot to a lot of the parents, and it's more their nostalgia than anything else. Like every Disney movie ever made.
They have Miracle on
One.
34th Street.
Yep.
That's a really good Christmas movie.
The name of the Wu-Tang Jesus show is Liquid Science.
Oh, okay, that's cool. RZA has a show too.
Does he?
Yeah, he was talking about it on Rogan.
You know what I like hearing talk? Elon Musk.
Dude, he doesn't talk
Okay.
much.
Whenever he does talk, though, I'm tuning in.
Oh, Wu-Tang and American Saga.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on
yeah.
Hulu. Sorry, it's not on Netflix. It's
Yeah,
on
that's a
Hulu.
documentary. That's a documentary. about it.
Docu-series though, right?
Yeah. Are you you're not the biggest hip hop guy though, right? You like Wu-Tang, I know that.
Yeah, I like hip hop, but I don't really listen to music that much. Like, I can appreciate a lot of just music in general, but I don't ever really go out of my way to just listen to music. Like, just sit and listen to music and chill. I never do that.
Do you like but you do like documentaries and stuff like that?
I watch some of them. I don't watch a lot of content. I really don't. I really don't. It took a lot out of me. I had to watch Fight Club at like starting after midnight one day before I had to go to work. Right? Like
Yeah.
I watched it till like 3 a.m. because that was when I had time. Right? Between
Worth it?
creating content, yeah, for sure. Between creating content and just doing other stuff and just being busy with just like regular life and working full-time job and such, I really don't have that much time to sit down and watch tons of content. I especially really try not to watch YouTube content to try not to emulate other people on the channel.
Right.
So there's that. I've cut out almost all of my has Home Alone on the fucking Disney Plus too.
See, and you see what's happening right now as you're reading through the list. So here's what happened, right?
There's a lot of good 90s movies on there though.
Here's
And by
what
good,
happened.
I mean terrible. Dr. Doolittle's on there, dude. Come on.
Dude. So some of us had some issues day one launch, right? I'm gonna tell you honestly, I stopped experiencing those issues 2 hours after I signed up. What?
Oh, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that's completely
not bad.
almost unheard of, dude. Like, and
National
watching it-
Treasure is sold.
Dude, I'm watching the Spider-Man series with my son right now that I watched when I was a kid. You know how much
That's-
that's worth to me as
That's
a
cool.
dad?
That's cool.
And
That's
he
really
likes it.
cool.
He
That's-
likes
That's really cool. See,
It's worth
even as a kid, I didn't watch too much TV. Now that I'm thinking of it,
You gotta move in. You'll be our kid. We'll make you watch TV.
no,
'Cause
no, you literally
don't-
couldn't. You couldn't. I'd be like running Ethernet cables through the house and like.
I'll throw you in a joke. I'm like, Zach, it's family time. Time to watch these
Yeah,
shows.
good thing I'm just dude. You know how much it would stress me out. So I have so many other things to do. I literally on my way home today, before I found out that the video file was corrupt, I'm like, it's Thursday. I don't have a single video edited so far. I can't edit a video tonight because I'm have the podcast to record, and I'm not going to be able to edit a video tomorrow night. I was like,
Right.
I am stressed. I was stressed out on my way home because of this. I'm too much of a workaholic to be able to sit down and just watch things.
So, and here's the thing, right?
If it
So
were
now
up
I'm
to
gonna
me, we would record every night, and then I would
we
just
were recording. Remember, at one point we were recording every night,
no.
and then you were like, "That's no, yes." When we first started, we recorded gameplay like every night. You were like, "This is too much content. We got to stream," and that's how we switched to Monday. days only.
Yeah, we kind of work that over time. It actually works out really well.
It does work out.
Because we just do one longer recording session, and this was actually the longest one that we had done. Maybe
Yeah.
that was the issue. Maybe it crashed after a certain time.
Oh, you thinking OBS just went out?
Yeah, I think OBS went out after a certain time. That could definitely.
Oh, because
happen.
we played for 2 hours. On
We
that one,
played for
didn't we?
almost 2 hours. Yeah. So like, but I'm such a workaholic. Like if it were up to me and I didn't have a full-time job, we would record every night. I would edit every day, and we'd be uploading 3 videos a day.
It's interesting because there's so many philosophies on that in regards to content creation. Like, so I do a lot of research in regards to like how to grow the channel and like doing things on Instagram and stuff like that. What you're supposed to do to blah 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 blah. And some people it's like quality versus quantity argument. Like if there's no content, then people won't be able to watch. But I talked to one of our viewers. He was like, "Hey, my only knock against the gaming stuff is like there's so much stuff I don't know where to jump in." And so I kindly rebutted to him. I was like, "Just start at the beginning, dude." Because the good news
Not
is
even.
like,
So the way that we structure our stuff is every week there's a different section of videos that really don't have anything to do with the week before.
Yeah.
Right? You can jump in on a Monday video, watch Monday through Friday. If you like that section of video, that's what you got. Right? Go back and watch last week's section of video. They're all different. It's not about the game as much as about Steve's progression and just the conversation that we have while playing the game. Right? If anyone was interested about the content, I would always tell them, and I have told people, start on a Monday and watch the Monday through Friday videos.
Yeah.
And that's where you get into it.
Yeah, but what I was trying to explain to him is in this situation, I'm like, dude, it just starts with the conversation, right? So you can actually start at the beginning, have fun with where we started with it, because there's some fun in those first videos, and then if you
Yeah.
watch the later ones, you'll okay, I can see what's happening here. But also, you want to have the content there for people to come back and check it out, which is how I think the podcast.
There's a lot of content on there.
Yes,
on the channel already.
Thank you to subscriber 41. Your basket is in the mail. We appreciate you and value you. But I honestly think that like, so say for instance, like I would have to go back in his archives and look at early Joe Rogan stuff, right? Or go back and look at some of my favorite content creators. I watched a guy the other day who I took so much comfort from because I too am a workaholic, and I'm just like, I just like to know, right? I like to be
Yeah.
as prepared as possible. And this guy had his YouTube channel for 3 years before he broke 60 subscribers. And like he looked in the camera at one point, he was like, if anyone ever had an excuse to bail, it was
It was me.
And he's
Yeah.
like, and you just keep going. But that's the thing. If we could swing back to it, like, it's why you gotta respect someone like Kevin. You know who Kevin Feige is? I'm sure you do, right?
It's the head of the Marvel guy.
That dude started off as an intern, right? And he became.
He looks like he started off as an intern. Let's be fair.
Yeah, he was also a low credit producer on one of the X-Men films, I believe, and that's how he met Amy Pascal. That's how he knows like all these people. And like, look at where he's at now, right? He and let's be fair about something else. Robert Downey Jr., we have a lot of respect for you, but his career was in the drain. It was like swirling before he got that Iron Man part, right? Because he'd gone through so many instances, and like Kevin Feige saved Robert Downey Jr.'s life by giving him an opportunity, dude. And now look at it. Marvel's a monster machine. It's a monster machine. It all started with one person saying, I'm not going to give up on this dream. I'm going to keep going. Kevin Feige went bald in front of us over the years. The man had a beautiful red mane of hair at one point, and I just started noticing he was wearing more Marvel hats. It's like, oh, he's plugging it. And I'm like, oh, he's bald. Like, I respect
That's
that.
awesome.
Are you gonna go bald for this channel, Zach? 'Cause
No.
I'm already. Yeah, you gotta go a little bald, dude.
No, I have good hair genetics, other than my father. But it's based off of your mother's side, right? Is like the thing.
It's all witchcraft. Don't worry about it. You're good.
My
You're golden.
grandfather's like 85 years old and still has a full head of hair, so I'm fine.
Who are your 3 favorite content creators that aren't gamers?
That I don't know. They would all be game. I mean, if you're really putting a gun to my head and asking me to do it.
We live in Canada. There are no guns here.
Are you putting a hockey stick to the back of my head and really making me do it?
That's what it's about.
So, can I kind of cop out an answer here? I would say, and he is a gamer, but the way he does his channel is more storytelling than it is gameplay, right?
Right.
He uses the game to express his storytelling, and it's a guy who doesn't even upload content anymore. There's rumors that he's coming back, but his name is Frankie on PC in 1080p.
Okay.
He has this series that is still my favorite series to this day of second favorite series to this day on YouTube. It's his DayZ series where he goes in and he story tells and like he creates this story from start to finish when he's doing it through gameplay. I feel like it's more of a story driven channel than it is a gameplay channel. Right.
That sounds amazing.
He's a good player, but he uses every tool he has in the game to create stories, right? So I can actually send you some of the stuff. I think you would really enjoy it if you were to watch it because it's like I think it's really really interesting.
Yeah, send that over.
So him, it's hard. Linus, I guess, is the only other really person. Oh, Braille skateboarding. I watch a lot of Braille skateboarding. They're really good content, and then Linus. That would be my top three. Even though one of them is kind of half-assed.
Which one is half-assed?
The gamer. I put a gamer in
there. Dude, so Rogan's not one of your favorite content creators?
I don't consider. I like in like content in general because I would just put 3 podcasts in there. Then I wouldn't. I thought we were talking about. I thought we were talking about YouTube.
Yeah. No. Well, let's talk about when I think content. I'm not just talking about YouTube, like podcast.
So to me, content creator is someone who creates content on YouTube or like Twitch or something. Okay. It's synonymous with that. Yeah, Rogan's up there. Matt Farah, who hosts the Smoking Tire, is like way up there. Maybe probably even above Rogan. And then the Painkiller Already podcast, which is 3 hosts. So.
Have you ever listened to any of the what is it, Matt Sarah and that other weird guy?
No, I don't listen to Matt Sarah talk. I don't have that much time in my day.
Matt Sarah was born to do this, dude. He is like hilarious. It's funny because whenever we're doing this, I was like, man, we can just get Matt Sarah on for a second just to do that accent over something. Like we'll just have him say funny words. Coffee, nickel, quarter, dime. It'd be amazing, dude. He's one of my favorite content creators.
Okay.
But actually, because the other guy's just there for kind of a filler, but I really do enjoy his. He's better on there breaking down fights than he is when he's on Fox. Maybe because the camera's not poking in his face, but he actually gets into some deep jujitsu tutorials and stuff like that. It's pretty funny to hear about his day as a trainer. I would think my next favorite one used to be TED Talk. Before it just took a drastic turn into, I don't know what they're
obscurity.
Doing. Yeah, it's just bizarre. Everyone gets the mic now. Everyone gets the mic, and then I think the next person would actually be Bitwit.
Okay. Yeah, you like that guy a lot. Yeah.
I dig it, man. He's a family guy, and I could dig that stuff.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
Are you gonna subscribe to Disney Plus or what, dude?
I was looking through this. There's actually a lot of content on there. It's just not for me. I don't see spending $7 a month on something I'm not going to use.
The user interface is beautiful, by the way. They do a good job there.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it isn't. I just have. I don't
use my account.
I don't want to. I just don't. I don't have a justification to spend $7 a month on something that I'm literally never going to use.
Dude, you go adopt a kid, you save someone's life, you get Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, if I had a kid, I would get Disney Plus. It would make sense.
Do you have Verizon?
Long story, yes.
You can get it for a year for free.
No, I can't.
Oh no, you've already looked into this.
I'm under a corporate account, so I believe we do not qualify. But if we did, they'd have to be like issue 30 different accounts. So.
All right. What do you think about them pulling in 10 million subscribers and beating their projection?
Good for them. It's Disney. What did they expect?
Day one, they bought 10 million. Day one.
Yeah. How many parents are in just the U.S. alone?
I don't know. That's
At least 5.
More than 6.
Right. So like you're going to get, it's Disney. You're going to get that every parent has Disney Plus. I would be willing to freaking bet.
Good for the market or bad for the market? Their dominance.
Bad.
Bad for the market.
Right.
Also.
Because we're just turning back into cable. You now, to get all of your content, you have to get HBO, you have to get Showtime, you have to get, well, you don't have to get Showtime. You have to get Hulu, you have to get Disney, you have to get ESPN, right? Like, you have to buy all of these separate programs or these packages, unless someone starts bundling them all in together. ABC is going to have their own, NBC is going to have their own. They might even be owned by the same company. Disney's going to split off Fox into its own thing and have a Fox service. History Channel is going to have their own. Motor Trend's going to have their own. Road and Track is going to have their own. These are magazine companies that are going to have their own stuff, right? That's what you're going to get. You're going down that road, the same road we went down with cable, where you had to buy all these packages to get a complete set of cable channels. You're going down that road with subscription services.
Huh.
And until
we've been there for a while now.
Yeah, right. We were originally just at Netflix, right?
Right.
And then we went Netflix and Hulu. Okay,
Yep.
That's fine. We're there for a long time. And then what broke in next? The anime one. The anime one kind of broke in right after that.
Yeah. Crackle was the thing for
I
a
don't
little while.
I don't know what Crackle is.
Thing.
But like then ESPN has their own. Now DAZN, if you want to watch like all of the obscure fighting, right? All on DAZN. And so a lot of boxing is on DAZN now, right? Yeah. HBO went and did its own thing because of Game of Thrones, which HBO's, in my opinion, in my humble opinion here, HBO's has the best value.
So, all right. I don't disagree with HBO having some good value on their stuff, right? And actually, I don't have a problem with Watchmen. You know me, I didn't have a problem with the ending of Game of Thrones. I do have a problem with super fans who hate everything and look for a reason to dislike things. Sure. I don't think HBO has enough. It depends on what you're looking for. For Disney, if you were looking for content day one, they got you, right? They have
Disney
the
has a lot. I scrolled through. There's a lot of stuff on here, down to National Geographic. Yeah, and they have animated, just the Marvel stuff they have alone. You said they're going to have 7 or something off the start. That doesn't even include the backlog of stuff that they had prior. Yeah. So, there's a ton of stuff, dude.
I think so.
They have like 25 Star Wars things alone.
Yeah, their control of the market right now, I think, is good because it kind of gives you stability. Like, just hear me out. It gives you. It gives you a foundation for which everyone else is to meet you. It raises the bar, right? So look at your Hulu subscription. You pay how much a month for Hulu?
I have no idea.
All right, so you pay maybe $5.99 depending on when you got in, or if you do the cable subscription, the live, and that brings it up to like $14.99. You know,
wait, hold on a second. The cable subscription is $50 a month. You realize that, right? For Hulu, for Hulu Live.
Yes, it is. Yes,
it's $50 because I looked at doing this recently. Remember, I don't have ESPN, regular ESPN, so I looked into doing Hulu Live, and it's $50 a month.
Yeah, but you know what you can't do on Hulu, which is really annoying to me? The shows disappear, dude. They disappear after a while. If you actually watch content that comes, from channels like ABC, NBC, whatever, you have a set amount of time to watch those shows, and you can't go back. You can't go back and rewatch them. So Netflix had them beat in that market. Like the content that's up will be up for a duration that you can handle it, but Netflix has a horrible library.
I pay $12 a month because I pay for the Hulu with no ads.
With no ads, okay.
Yeah, and I watch maybe one series every 3 months.
So I think Disney Plus brings us closer to a place where they tried to do this with on demand a long time ago. People want to be able to enjoy the content they want to enjoy when they want to enjoy it, right? The only thing that Disney is doing different is they're examining the market, and they know that people are getting sick or over the oversaturation of binge watching a show. Because then they binge watch it, and like Netflix just learned recently, they don't come back. Sure. They're not logging back in. So I think it's just only going to help change things in a way where people will start to meet the consumer where they're at a little bit more. This is where it's going to screw us, though, right? Everyone keeps cutting the cable. People's internet subscription prices are going to go up. Then we got the
Up.
net neutrality thing looming in the background like a
Well,
house guest.
We could talk about that next week. I will have all the information on that. Yeah. I saw that there's a new bill coming up to go through the United States Congress. I don't know why we're worrying about it, but so yeah, that's a big thing. I don't see us going down a road that's going to be positive because Disney made their own subscription service.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about in regards to how we're able to consume content. I think Disney and Google really got ahead of it. Google's also a stand as well. Like YouTube TV service is affordable and it works for a lot of families that can't afford it. It's like $30 a month.
I don't know. I've never even looked into this kind of thing. You could do YouTube TV.
Yeah. HD too.
I don't. Okay, I don't know. I mean, I could look this up definitely off.
Off air.
Yeah, because it's gonna.
Now they got DVR on it too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
YouTube TV. Oh, here we go. TV.youtube.com. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry. It's up to $50.
It's $50 a month.
Yeah, it's up to $50 now.
For $1 you get Hulu with no ads. You know,
you gotta get commercials, man. Stop being a communist.
I hate commercials. I really do.
It's all about the commercials.
I forgot to even mention that Amazon Prime too. Everyone buys Amazon Prime now too, right? That's another subscription you're adding on every year.
That's yeah. I actually, funny thing, I don't want to jinx myself. I never notice when that money comes out of my account.
Just thinking that. I've never even noticed. Hold on a second. Are they coming for me?
Like, are they taking it out of my wallet when I'm sleeping?
I haven't gotten any money from the Tooth Fairy in years.
Years. I almost said something messed up. I would have screwed my kids up. So I'm glad I showed some restraint right there. Yeah, net neutrality should be on.
That'll be on next week's episode. Let's talk about that next week. We have one topic left. I actually kind of threw this in as like a kind of random topic here, but I thought it would be a good little episode, and we could even probably do this a few weeks coming into Christmas. Is we're both techies, right? We both love technology. We both keep up to date with a lot of technology. What is the best gift for a techie in your family?
I think the best is probably I'll start at the top. If it's a kid with a PS4, limited space, techie person, get them an external hard drive, a solid state one.
Okay.
They will thank you for that later, right? That'd be gift number one. Headsets, quality headsets for any gamer or person that enjoys music. I would think if it's just your average music listener and they're a techie, they would really dig the Microsoft multi-Bluetooth channel headphones because they have really good sound quality.
I've heard really bad reviews on those. Hilariously,
what? I've heard nothing but good reviews.
Linus tore them apart.
That man has too much money. That's the problem. He's not thinking like a poor person.
They're like $300 headphones. I think the way what he recommended against it was like a $60 pair of like Sennheisers.
What did he dislike about it the most?
Controls were unintuitive, and then the sound quality wasn't a $300 pair of headphone sound quality. If I remember correctly, I watched a video 6 months ago when it came out or whatever.
What? I literally watched a video the other day from a guy who does like honest reviews, and he was like, "This was an amazing product." He doesn't get sponsored to review things,
okay,
or at least that's what he claims.
I could just be remembering it wrong, for sure.
No. You're talking about
the Microsoft Studio headphones.
No.
The gray ones that have the weird dial things on the side?
Yes, okay.
Those.
Yes. I think another good gift for a techie, it depends on the type of techie we're talking about.
Okay, so let's break it down. We got kid who's a gamer, right? We got that external hard drive, right?
Right.
We got your audio, your music listener. What do you buy your parents? You say your parents, maybe not even maybe your parents aren't even a techie. What techie thing do you buy your parents?
My mom is a techie, and she is a person who uses a lot of Apple products. I would probably buy her that Apple flash drive. You know which one I'm talking about, the one where you can back up from the device and keep a local copy, just in case you forget your Apple ID or something like that, or you
Oh,
forget
okay,
your
yeah. It's the Thunder storage. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
I would definitely buy. I think that's a
Thunderport?
great. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would definitely. I think that's something she would enjoy. My wife's a bit of a techie too. She would probably enjoy something that was more intuitive. Any device that allows her to sync multiple devices up and get more
Okay.
work done is something that she would enjoy.
Okay, so like a Google Nest Home, right? That
Yes.
allows you to connect
Yeah.
all the other ones in your house to one thing. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah.
cool. I like that.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that's cool that's coming out. I was just watching top 6 new tech devices for under $60 today,
Uh-huh.
and none of them were things that I would
None
give
of
any.
them are cool,
No,
right? None of them are
not
cool.
one thing. Well, if you saw the brands, you'd be like, "That thing's gonna break, and it's gonna take your computer out with it." What about you? What about
So
you?
so for like for instance, right? My dad is the exact opposite. He is of
Uh-huh.
me. He's not a techie whatsoever. But for him, I would probably actually the biggest tech thing that he bought recently was a garage door opener that could connect to Wi-Fi.
Ooh, yeah.
They don't have internet yet, so it doesn't really do anything right now other than open and close a garage door. But
That's
for
horrible.
him, like a Ring doorbell, right? So he can
Oh,
monitor when people are in and out, and he can monitor, when packages are delivered or when's what's delivered and what's going on in the yard, right? I think that would be really, really good for him. For my mom, who's kind of not really a techie either, but some tech stuff. I would actually buy her a soundbar for her TV, right, to upgrade that watching experience. I already upgraded her to a 4K TV this year with a nice TV stand, and think I would add on top of that and maybe throw a soundbar.
yeah.
For something along the lines of your PC gamer friend who is has a kind of a mid-grade garbage computer and likes to record YouTube videos, you buy him a nice keyboard. For it really, it really depends, right? You pick the thing, but I think smart home stuff is huge now, and I think
Yeah.
smart lights and stuff, and I think smart lights are always a good option. It adds a little bit of controllability. Maybe you forgot, maybe think you left the lights on when you left the house. You get to turn those off, and do stuff like that, and set moods and stuff. So I think smart lights would be my overall option. I love mine. I have mine, and I like them a lot. So
I think what you get your self-righteous friend who knows way too much is a tech gift is a nice beard trimmer. So here's the thing, and I mean that right. Everyone thinks they have a good one. I always know what the top of the line beard trimmers are.
what is it
And
right
there's
now?
one. Well, first of all, you actually bought one that day we were hanging out at that place near the school. That green Gillette that you bought, that one was actually valued really high. I think you bought it for your dad or something like that,
No,
right? You bought that for yourself?
yeah, the Philip one.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't like it.
Why don't you like it? What's wrong with you?
My hair is incredibly thick, and I need like a legit like ceramic like actual buzzer to actually really do it.
I just figured out what I'm gonna get you for Christmas. This is a thing that's used in the black community. You might benefit from it. A lot of our barbers use this particular. I'll help you out. It's not gonna help you in the pickle though. I'll tell you that right now. Don't pull this thing out and like, I own this. Please don't attack me. That's probably gonna make people attack you. So it's a really good clipper.
Yeah.
I was just as we're going through this segment, this is something that I got as a gift from my mother-in-law, who always buys me the most thoughtful tech gifts. All right, so
What
what
is
is
it?
this? It's a little projector, a little
Oh,
HDMI.
I love little projectors, dude.
And so in my
We gotta start integrating that into this. We need you to start playing ads on the wall behind you.
Bam! Like in my previous career, I had to do a lot of traveling. I was away from my family, very uncomfortable living situations sometimes. And sometimes I wouldn't even have a place to watch my shows beyond my laptop. She bought me this, and I actually had a nice white wall in the room I was staying. So I went from watching things on my Surface at like 12.5 inches to 50 inches. And
On that, yeah.
that was probably the best gift ever. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You did nothing for me.
Good point. It's
Oh, what do we got left here, man?
I think that is it.
All
I
right.
think that wraps for this week. Steve, this is a good episode. I had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun too, man.
I'm
And you know
glad.
what? I didn't drink any coffee, and I feel pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean, I drank a lot of this Snapple, and I really have to go to the bathroom.
You gotta
But
pee?
a little bit, but I'm okay. I could deal with another, 45, 30.
Let's go. Let's go for another 20.
What do you got?
I got nothing.
That's what
We
I
love
thought.
you guys. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for watching. This has been Talking with a Dad, episode 6. See you guys next week.